It's finally time for week 3 to begin, and our predictions in the Anarchy Analysis series for the LEC continues on. 35 games by the end of this week will have happened, so it's only fitting we get straight into the action. Starting with the results from last weekend, we actually had a very decent week. In total, we picked up 7 out of 10 games, only dropping the G2 BDS game, which is somehow a G2L after all that. And day 2, we dropped the Mad XL and the SK Misfits matchup. So, with that all pointed out, let's jump into our first prediction of the video. We're kicking it off with Misfits and BDS. Now, both teams are at the bottom of the table with pretty much the exact same record. BDS have shown success in the early game, whereas Misfits have shown success never in this season so far. And personally, I'm just going to be brutally honest, and I say I have gone with a Misfits win. Misfits have struggled, don't get me wrong. They've lost games that realistically in spring they would have won. And coming into Summit, they've not found their footing just yet. But I think they're slowly but surely, after getting a win against SK on the last day of last week, they're gonna start to build up success and carry. So I think they'll beat the early game leading team in the LEC. Just it's gonna be long and drawn out. Game 2 sees Vitality and SK enter the Rift. Let's start discussing these two teams. Honestly, I would say they've found some success, but they haven't. Vitality have been hit or miss, with recent results indicating they kind of do suck. Losing to G2 and to XL. G2, you understand the loss. XL, if this was spring, you'd expect Vitality to beat them every single time. They have not. And SK, they've not reached the peak performance they were at in 3 seasons ago, when Treats was just joining the LEC, and this team had some actual playability across the roles. Now they feel a bit stale and just get beaten down, and it comes from the bot lane, which personally this matchup might be a little bit more stale. Kazi and Labrov I don't think are a strong bot lane. Treats and Jezu used to be a strong bot lane. They've just not got that pizzazz anymore. That being said, my result may surprise you. I've gone with a Vitality win. I just think Perks will want to pick up some wins. I don't think he's ever missed the playoffs, so he's not gonna miss out here in summer. Game 3 actually has a lot at stake as Rogue take on XL. This could be only considered a form checker for Rogue and a form progressor for XL. With how I've worded that, you can kind of tell which side of the coin I'm on for this one. But if you're unaware, I've gone with an XL win. I just think XL are progressing very nicely. And honestly, they've got some contenders for MVP this split. If it's not Caps who gets it, then I could honestly see the likes of Marcoon and Patrick being up there for this award, this accolade. However, we have to talk about this more at the matchup. Larson versus Nuke Duck. Two kind of similar styled players up until this split. Nuke Duck wasn't really known for these aggressive picks, but after a Korean boot camp, he has come back in and is just popping off. It's setting up XL, it's allowing Markoon to make plays, and then Patrick to carry the late game. Whereas Rogue are slowly waking up to the regular split kings. Odo had a standout week 2. And week 3, he's looking to continue that form that was lost in week 1. Yeah, that makes sense. Regardless, XL win here is my prediction. I just feel they're a lot stronger at the moment and they're progressing nicely towards playoff. Fnatic, what have you got yourselves into? A battle with Astralis? I don't mean to be rude. They're very tough, but maybe you're tougher. If this season goes on any longer, I'm sure it won't get any rougher. Fnatic for me will see victory against Astralis. I'm running out of rhymes, let's be honest. So, Fnatic upset. Fine, Fnatic direct. Easy win for the French king. Yeah, that didn't rhyme, but I've gotten Fnatic win. A traditional day 1 matchup sees week 3 action. Mad versus G2 ends off our first day of this weekend. And you know, it's always an interesting one because G2 will pull something out the bag like they usually do that's so obscene and unique. Mad really can't prepare. That's sort of this matchup in a nutshell every single split when it's opening week. However, G2 coming into this one, this should be interesting. I'm definitely seeing a lot of the old Mad from last season in this lineup. Niski has brought life to these rookies and is honestly a big reason why Mad are doing well. As for G2, it's same with Caps. He is rejuvenated here in summer, and it's all from that playoff run. He's just been on fine form. Yankos and Caps have looked phenomenal, and it is probably a battle between, arguably at the moment, the best mids and the best junglers in the league. It's gonna be good. I like this clash, and it deserves to be a marquee matchup. Who do I think wins? The answer is G2. Is there any question? Cabs is just unstoppable right now. Day 2 is kicked off with arguably a Debbie Downer matchup if this was last season. I think we've got the 2 best early game teams facing off against one another here, and it's going to be explosive. Expect snowballs to be thrown between these 2 lineups. But arguably I have to pick a winner, and it's got to be XL. Form dictates them as the winners here, and BDS just can't close games. SK Rogue, I'll keep this one quite short. SK have struggled, Rogue sort of struggled, but they're bouncing back. Gotta go with a Rogue win here. It's time for the match of the week. Astralis taking on Vitality, and there's a story behind this one. The driven narrative. Astralis are on the up. They've, for seasons, finished dead last, and now they are looking better than ever. With wins on the board, more than what they got last split, they are looking quite strong and a definite playoff contender. On the other side of things, we have Vitality, a team built to be the best, a super team. You have all pro top, all pro mid, and the rest of the team being incredibly strong in most roles. Now, the big thing about them is they're underperforming. The caliber of players aren't stepping up to the big stage. They have not realistically performed well. But this matchup is a test for either team. Astralis, can they keep a very dominant start to the split going? Or will Vitality bounce back? That is the driven narrative here. And personally, I've gone with an Astralis win. I think they found success where they need to get success. And Vitality, I've not seen anything. They're not playoff contenders. That's how I see them. But you look across at the top lane, I think will be an interesting matchup. Vizicachi Alphari, it's got the history there. But I'm not been too big of a fan of Vizicachi on his return. It's like not a top solid performing top laner in terms of his actual gameplay, but what he brings to the team is where he succeeds. As for Alphari, I think it's kind of the opposite. His gameplay is better than his team play, and it's a clash of styles that's gonna intrigue me. But with that said, let's move into our next matchup after I've just predicted an Astralis win. Misfits Mad. Honestly, these two teams never have found form at the same time as one another. Misfits during spring was rock solid and very strong. Mad were not. Summer, it's the opposite. Mad are rock solid, Misfits aren't, and maybe we see a matchup in playoffs between these two teams. Don't get me wrong, I feel at this stage of the season, Misfits are not making playoffs, but Mad will? In like 4th, 5th or 6th. That's where I feel they'll finish at the moment, because there is quite a few other strong teams that I think would still finish above them. However, it's going to be close. Mad should win, but Misfits, maybe 3 weeks of losing, they've discovered a strat that can allow them to pick up a victory. And finally, it's time to be reckless with our hearts without reckless as G2 take on Fnatic in the LEC's match of the week, not ours. And you know, these two teams face off. It's a battle of kind of now the old guard, as these two teams have been at the top of the league since probably its inception. Now, G2 currently are on the better form, having only dropped 1 game, whereas Fnatic kind of have struggled, and they struggled against BDS and managed to somehow pull it back. But this week, this could be a very tough week for Fnatic, and G2 certainly do not want to lose to him. Now, regular season form usually favors Fnatic, but I always go G2, and as the trend continues, I'm going G2. So with that prediction in the books, it's time we round out this episode. Thank you very much for joining me. If you enjoyed these predictions, leave a goddamn like down below. Subscribe if you're around here, and also follow Akitsen on Instagram for kind of a thank you for all the amazing artwork she's put in. Once again, I've been izlogic.business, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.